my report on M. Butterfly by David Henry Huang, however you want to pronounce it. This is going to be my deep moment, if you will. It's my intro. A wing flashes shimmering pigments as it ascends into the sunlight. It is beautiful. It is peaceful. It is a butterfly. Imagine chasing that butterfly, catching it, and then treasuring it for 2 decades until you realize it is not the butterfly you have thought to have cherished, but an ugly and equally unextraordinary moth. The main character of M. Butterfly, Renee Gallimard, can relate. The play is based off of a true story. M. Butterfly was originally based off of a book called Madame Butterfly, which was about a Oriental woman. She fell in love with a Western man, which is a white guy, and eventually she realized that she couldn't be with the white man, and she kills herself. And this is kind of like that, except the roles are reversed. The story is also mainly about stereotypes, such as Westerners perceive Oriental women to be these dainty little submissive women. It's also about Western men being extremely controlling and dominating, or wanting to dominate everything. This story is about this French vice consul member. His name is Renee Gallimard. He's in his cell. He's talking about his life and how many years ago he met this woman named Song Liling. He immediately becomes enchanted with her. He keeps going back to her performances at the Peking Opera, which is a very famous Chinese opera house. Part of the reason I understand that Renee had an affair in the first place was that he never really had any luck with women. And it states that in the play. He often probably thought, was he truly a real man? Because he had this wife who couldn't produce any children, and he never had any luck with women, even as a teenager. And so he thought, hey, I should have an affair. Song Liling is like a breath of fresh air to this guy because he's been married to this unlovely, not very pleasant woman who he left in Europe whenever he came to China, whose name is Helga. And Helga only married Renee Gallimard in the first place because he was higher up in society and she just wanted to climb the social ladder. I moved. Get over it. I got a text message. One of the themes is that you can't judge a book by its cover, the book being a man and the cover being a female Chinese opera singer named Song Liling. The book is really interesting and it caught my attention. The details of M. Butterfly's wardrobe and how uncomfortable his feet were in the traditional Oriental woman's pinch shoes were pretty in-depth, and that was nice. The theme definitely got across to me by way of Song's really vicious and cunning knowledge of Western male and Oriental female stereotypes, which really framed the whole story. But on the other hand, it was a bit confusing because the characters really broke the fourth wall a lot and switched between settings and scenes and characters. And I'm not used to that, so I had a bit of trouble following it. And then, woo! Okay, hi! It might have been beneficial to have read the book version, except it's like the book version, but like I said earlier, the roles are reversed. It's what this is based off of. It's called Madame Butterfly by a man named Puccini. It would have been beneficial to have read that before I read this, I believe. The ending was cliched, and tons of plays end with the main character dying or committing suicide, and I found that kind of icky. I read the play twice, and the SparkNote summary, and even then I didn't completely understand it. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone other than upperclassmen or like above, because you'd have to read it 2 or more times, read the summary, read Madame Butterfly, read some analysis. I mean, it took a little bit extra, it took a little bit extra to actually completely understand all of it. You might even have to do some research, like over the topic, or ask your history teacher or something, because it's a bit confusing. I always found that whenever I'm reading something that's not in my actual time period, like in the, somewhere between the 1990s and where we are now,
it's always a bit confusing to understand like their customs and their stuff like that, especially if it's in a different country. So I'm Cristiner-neener.